All right, and that moves us into a light heavyweight bout. We got Mike Rodriguez on one end. We got Danilo Marques on the other. This is going to be a great one as well. We got Danilo, who sports a 10-2 record. He seems to only take one fight a year going back to his history. It seems like, that he fills his quota and doesn't take any more. So, this might be his one for 2021. Let's see. But he did make his UFC debut back in 2020 at UFC 253 against Kadis Ibragimov. He won that one by decision, and it'll be interesting to see if he can carry that momentum on to the Mike Rodriguez bout. Now, on the flip side, we got Mike Rodriguez. He rocks at 11-5 record. How somebody voluntarily uses a nickname of slow, I won't understand, but maybe that's part of his tactic there. So, but this guy, he won the Dana White Contender Series back in 2017. He's gone 2-3 in the UFC since. He did beat Marcin Prachnio, who actually saw beat Khalil Roundtree a few weeks ago. And
big upset. Solid showing from a guy who did not deserve to be that brutal of a line. Continue,
for sure. And then that loss, it was followed up with that loss to Ed Herman by Kimura, which we were actually just talking about before, and as the low blow fight. So shed some light on that one for us.
Yeah. So when you think back to Mikey Rodriguez's fight, he looked great. He looked absolutely phenomenal. Till Ed Herman got low blowed and took a good amount of time to recover from what was a fairly dominant moment in time for Mikey Rodriguez. What seemed to happen after that was, he recovered, and Mikey Rodriguez was actually dropping him a little bit, put him up against the fence, was filling him really well. But Ed Herman, the veteran, willing to take some blows, just ends up locking up an arm. All right, just takes his sweet time, finds his way over, rolls him over, sweeps him. He's top position, getting this elbow basically cranked to the back, locking up this Kimura. And honestly, man, everyone's like, yo, this is locked up. They're like, what's even happening right now? Are you kidding me right now? There's no way. Leg over the neck. Boom. Tapped almost immediately, if I remember correctly. Bro, that has to be one of the most memorable fights of 2020. No one wants to talk about it because it's probably just so outrageous, but
so
it's
controversial for sure.
It's insane. And Bisping, as usual, the most fun guy to have for moments like those, goes in and just basically talks to Ed Herman directly about it.
Was it a low blow?
I know, right? And so, that the outside of that, he looked great, right? He looked absolutely great in that fight. Slow. I think it reflects in kind of how he fights. He's a pretty big counter puncher. Yes. He likes to kind of wait for his moments. Well, talk about waiting for your moments. Can we talk about Danilo Marques? Now, my tone changes on purpose. He's a really good BJJ fighter. He likes to kind of get it in close and ride the back, and he did that a lot for the third round against Ibragimov. But I would not call that fight exciting, my man. Let's talk about how he landed 4 of 16 takedown attempts, 2 of 6 in the third round. So he very much, is just trying to get in there. And this really, this is a stat where where my heart lies. You know where my heart lies, bro. Can we talk about how there was only 35 combined significant strikes in this entire fight? Max!
Oh my God.
Max! Max! I can't. The moment I saw that, I'm like, oh my God. I can't even, I watched probably 2.5 rounds of that, and I couldn't continue. It was just one of those.
No, that's snack time for sure.
I appreciated the jiu-jitsu, and I'm always that guy that tries to throw enough respect, even Woodley, Stephen Thompson. That's a fight that a lot of people hated it. You know what? It is what it is, it's Stephen Thompson. I don't hate the man for that. But it's
funny, case, you do find a way to appreciate these types of things,
Yeah, but in this case, that's what you can imagine what I'm getting at here. Now, let's actually combine that fight and Mikey Slow Rodriguez. So I'm anticipating, Pies, let's make a little friendly wager on behalf of us and the rest of the world. Between fights of Michael Johnson and Clay Guida and Valiev and Martin Day, watch the tempo just change. People are not going to be ready for this little dip and this up. It's just going to be, it's going to be so interesting to enjoy. And I mean, I truly believe it. Mikey Rodriguez could come out and just demolish this man and maybe save that from happening. But if this fight,
okay,
I mean, here's the thing: if my man Marquez can get that takedown and get this fight to where he needs it to be, because I think Mikey Rodriguez's striking has to, Mikey Rodriguez will be very disappointed in himself if this fight is either lost on the feet or even worse, maybe even a finish on the feet. I think he really does have that confidence going into this fight, and frankly, knows where he shouldn't be letting the fight go. And that's where I think, basing lines and everything I just said, let's hope that everybody gets a great fight that they want to enjoy. But it's one of the few big men fights on this card till we get to the main event. And let's just say the pace will be very different from a Clay Guida fight and, a Martin Day Valiev fight.
For sure. So, where do you see the line landing on this one? I mean, it seems like I have a pretty strong inclination that
Mikey Rodriguez minus 200. Let's roll.
Ooh, we give him the bell on this one too. Give him the bell, man. This man is on a roll. I believe that's 6 out of 7 there, but minus 245 is what that line opened at. If I look at the live line, it's minus 225. Even closer to what you were thinking there. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Shall we glance at what this fight would be to go to the distance?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we could say yes at plus 275.
Yeah, so that's interesting because, I think there is a shot here that Mikey Rodriguez ends this fight. I really do. But again, the Marquez BJJ is where you're kind of not, Mikey Rodriguez is not a minus 300, minus 350 favorite for a reason. Basically.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You saw the way that he can ride your back, and I think that's a bad position for Mikey.
Agreed. So yeah, I mean, this sounds like it's going to be one of those stay away for us, but if there is something that jumps out to us, we'll make sure to post it for you guys for sure. That wraps up UFC Vegas 18. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button underneath. We have all of our information, Instagram, Twitter. Give us a follow. That's where all our picks are going to go up. Closer to Saturday, we'll have a bunch of content going up. So make sure you give us that subscribe, lock that in. Anything else, Siraj?
That is all, my friend. Always a pleasure. Glad to get it rolling again. Let's get it. With these lines, we better
Always
get
a pleasure,
going.
dude. Take care. You got it. Peace out.